her life. I know. And then Anna, is she okay? Yeah.
All right. Let's continue along here. Ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about proteins. Okay, we were talking about the order of importance of proteins. Which ones are more beneficial for you than others? This is based on the amount of micronutrients you get from proteins, such as the amino acids that you would get from beef, creatine, that kind of stuff. And then we have the amount of absorption of protein in through the blood system. Okay? So beef is the most important because you absorb more protein, more creatine, more of the amino acids that you need than any of these other kind of protein sources. Okay? The worst of which being poultry. You might think, well, wait a minute, I thought chicken was really good for you. It is, but you're not getting near the amino acids, the creatine, or the protein absorption than you are from beef, okay? And so you would have to eat a whole bunch more calories of poultry than you would of beef to get the exact same amount of response from your body, okay? So we want to stick to some of those leaner meats, the wild games, the dark meats. Anything that's real dark before you cook it, or red, any colorful meat, especially with fish, those are going to be your better sources of micronutrients, okay, because they show through the color. The more colorful the food, usually that means the more micronutrients it has, okay? So order of importance of proteins, beef should be your #1 choice. If we have issues with beef, we can go with fish, or we can go with poultry. Those are still okay options, but I would like to see a lot more beef in everybody's diet, especially for what we do here. Okay. Our next macronutrient on our set of real foods is our fats. This is probably one of the most important macronutrients. Okay. Everybody likes the protein macronutrient because it's the glamorous one. It's the one that hasn't been shot down by myths and by popular nutrition articles and people in the know, you know. Fats, everything's low fat these days, right? Low fat milk, low fat yogurt, low fat cereals, low fat Diet Cokes. You know what I mean? What's the deal with that? We need fats. Everybody needs fats. Eating fat does not make you fat, okay? The reason that we get that misconception is because all fats are lumped in together whenever we're talking about fats. And they shouldn't be. So we've got different kinds of fats. We've got saturated fats and we've got unsaturated fats. Okay? And we need both kinds for our body to run properly. Right? Our saturated fats, you can kind of think of those as your bacons, your nuts, your butters, those kind of things. Those are, think about it this way. If you can denature it by heating it up or make it turn to a liquid form by heating it up, it's probably a saturated fat. What are saturated fats good for? What are unsaturated fats good for? Well, they're very energy dense. Your body actually has the capacity to produce more ATP with fats at a resting state than with carbs. So if you're sitting at your desk during the middle of the day and you're not about to work out and you're like, man, really tired right now, but I just had an apple, so I think I'm crashing right now, my insulin levels are spiked and my sugar's all gone and I'm not using it for ATP. What should I do? Well, eat an avocado. An avocado is going to keep you sustained over a longer period of time because it digests longer. And it's also a better source of energy, okay? Especially at that low resting heart rate. All right, so very energy dense. It's very good for us because fats are also chock full of micronutrients, really good stuff, vitamins and minerals that you can't get from other places, especially things like fish oil. You know, fish oil is very good for our joints, very good for our entire body. Our cell membranes are made up of fats, okay? So what fish oil does is it actually replaces some of those fats with better fats, okay? So everybody in your body, you have right now an omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, right? And that omega-3 to omega-6 ratio needs to be a certain amount. But over time, since our diet has evolved and we don't get those essential omega-3s that we need anymore from sources like fish that are caught in the wild and not farm raised from our fish oil supplement, our body uses those omega-6s from the foods that we have. So if you think about an omega-6 molecule, it's much, much bigger than its partner, the omega-3s. Okay? So if you think about a cell wall in your knee, okay, the outsides of that wall are made up of omega-6s instead of omega-3s. They're going to be much, much bigger. And whenever you go to do a squat, that's going to be real, real, real tight going down because, man, I've got a lot of omega-6s in there and they're rubbing up against each other and I'm trying to get mobile, but I just can't do it. So what do I need to do to counteract that? I take a fish oil supplement. So it replaces those omega-6s in the cells with omega-3s. And then we can get all the way down to a squat and all the way back up. No problem, right? So everything is lubricated within our joints. It relieves a lot of arthritic issues, and it also improves brain power, okay? Our brains are made up of fat. Gray matter is fat, all right? So you can't tell me that eating more fat makes you dumber because you're gonna get fat. You actually become smarter and healthier by eating fats, okay? So we really want these fats. Well, you're thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, saturated fat is bacon, is what you said. And so, isn't bacon associated with heart disease and bad cholesterol? It's funny that you should ask. Because cholesterol is a monster in and of itself. The bad cholesterol, the LDL, was created by, the demonization of LDL was created by pharmaceutical companies to sell statin drugs, okay? And there have been multiple studies that have come out within the past year or two that are telling everybody that statin drugs aren't doing anything for you. And your cholesterol is highly dependent on genetics, okay? So you're thinking, well, wait a minute, can I get cholesterol from foods too? Yes, you can. And that's where you need to get your cholesterol, okay? You need to get that dietary cholesterol so we can repair our body. And you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, repair your body? I thought it clogged your arteries. Not quite, all right? So cholesterol, you've got 3 different kinds of cholesterol. You've got your HDL, your LDL, and your VLDLs. HDL stands for high-density lipid proteins. LDL is low-density lipid proteins. And VLDL is very low-density lipid proteins. So whenever you go get your cholesterol checked, you'll usually get 3 numbers, okay? And the doctor's usually telling you, well, your LDL's too high, and you want your HDL to be better. This is true, but my better is different from your better is different from his better, okay? So cholesterol is very subjective person to person. And who's to say what you need? And maybe your normal is different from mine, right? Okay, so we all operate on different levels. It really has to do with your body trying to process this information. And if you're already disposed to high cholesterol levels in your body anyways, from genetics, then, you know, there's not much you can do about that, even with eating the right foods, okay? Because 2/3 of it is produced by your body on a daily basis without food, all right? So HDL, LDL, and VLDL. People are like, okay, well, the HDL is good, the LDL and VLDL are bad, right? That's not true either. The way that I think about HDL is an ambulance, okay? The same thing with LDL. Cholesterol is used to repair injuries in your body. So I got this scrape right here from box jumps yesterday because I wasn't paying attention and I missed, right? So I was bleeding a little bit. So my body says, I need to send cholesterol to that area so I can repair that. There's an injury here. I need to do something about it. So whenever that happens, what happens in my bloodstream is there is HDL leaving the area with bad toxins, okay? The ambulance leaving the scene of the crash, all right? So doctors are like, okay, that's good. They're taking the toxins to the liver to get filtered out, right? And then they see the LDL coming to the scene of the crash, coming to that injury. It goes in the bloodstream to the injury. So they associate that with being the cause of the problem. Okay, so if you have an injury in your heart, a clogged artery, doctors see that LDL going to that clogged artery. Well, that's not necessarily to make it worse. It could be cleaning it out. And there's actually no study that even tells exactly what HDL and LDL do. Nobody knows for sure. That's just what happens in the body whenever you have an injury or you have a clogged artery or something like that. So cholesterol is very important to you to repair injuries in your body naturally, but it gets demonized. All right, so we do need cholesterol, and we get it from eating saturated fats and the certain things on the paleo diet. So we don't need to supplement any kind of cholesterol. All right, guys, so that kind of wraps up our macronutrient talk and our talk about real food.